Hi lady, my name is Rochelle and I'm a food freedom coach. For years I struggled with my relationship to food and my body. Majority of it was the diet binge cycle while I used exercise to purge my binges. I so get what it's like to feel out of control with food, and this really impacted all areas of my life, including relationships, my physical, mental, emotional, spiritual health, my finances, my self-esteem, my confidence, just everything. And I was constantly trying to control food more, whether it was diets, programs, plans. I just felt like I needed more willpower. And frankly, staying focused on the food kept me stuck, because food is just a symptom of deeper underlying issues that we're not dealing with. So I was constantly in this state of trying to find this external fix for what is an internal problem. And even when I finally realized that I had to go within, I was in consumption mode. So I was listening to podcasts, reading books, reading blog posts, consuming all this information, but I wasn't integrating it. And it wasn't until I started to work with coaches of my own that I experienced a shift with my relationship to food and my body. So what I want to do today is first share some signs that you do have an unhealthy relationship with food, because I know for myself, I was in denial for a long time, because we do grow up in a society that is like steeped in diet culture, and it's not normal. We might think it is, but it's not. It's common, but it's not normal. So some signs that you have an unhealthy relationship with food include control. You either feel like you need to control your food, or you feel like you lose control. You don't have the control. You can't keep certain foods in the house because you'll just eat them all at once. You'll binge on them. You have rigid rules around what you can and can't eat. And of course, this is different for someone who's got something like celiac disease or something like that. But the intention behind it is rooted in fear, and your goal for doing it is because you're trying to make your body look a certain way, right? Anxiety around food. You feel like you get really anxious when there's the idea of going to a restaurant or someone else's house to eat, because you won't know what's going to be there. You can't control the exact calories or macros or weight or whatever it is that you're doing. You feel shame and embarrassment around some of your eating habits, especially when you're alone. You have cheat days. You have tried various diets, various plans, programs, and you're hopping from one to the next constantly. You don't just eat in a normal way. You feel like you need more willpower. Like I mentioned, that was a big one for me. I thought I needed more willpower, but that's not what it's about. You use food as a reward quite a bit, and you can't just eat for health and hunger. So as you can see, there's a lot of signs that you may have an unhealthy relationship with food. And what I want to share today is a tip that will help you start to build a healthier relationship, and that's presence. So our lack of presence is one of the reasons we're struggling with food in the first place. When we are disconnected and not present, we're turning to food to avoid feeling something uncomfortable, right? So when we're able to build presence, we basically can't binge eat when we're being present. At that point, it becomes a choice that we're conscious of. But I totally get what it's like to be in a trance and feel like you can't even control what's happening, and to come out of that and realize you've eaten so much food. But when we work on building our presence, this doesn't become an issue anymore, and we get to actually see what's going on underneath the food and get to the root issue. So something that really helps with presence is our breath, and it's free and we can do it anywhere, and it's awesome. So deep diaphragmatic breathing, I want to walk you through that today. So it's our mind that tells us what to eat, right? It's our mind that chooses the foods. It's our mind that leads us to binge eating. So our mind is intricately linked with our breath. We can't control our mind. It's that beautiful thing that's like constantly going for some of us. But when we control our breath, we calm our breath down. Because the breath is intricately linked with our mind, we can start to calm our mind and get back into our bodies and connected to our bodies. And that's the goal of this work, right? When we're so disconnected from our body, we can't actually listen to what she needs. So I want you to get into a comfortable seated position, and I'm going to walk you through some deep diaphragmatic breathing. So once you're seated, bring one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart. Go ahead and close your eyes and just bring your awareness to your breath. Without changing it, just notice it. Is it shallow and fast? Or is it deep and slow? So often we go throughout our day without breathing deeply into the base of our lungs. Now start to increase the depth of your inhale and the depth of your exhale. You can count to 3 or 4 on the inhale, pausing at the top, and then counting to 3 or 4 on the exhale, and pausing at the bottom. Breathing fully into the depths of your lungs, and exhaling fully. So we're trying to match the length of the inhale to the length of the exhale. And now as you inhale, breathe into the belly, ribs, chest, and exhale from the chest, ribs, belly. Inhale into the belly, ribs, chest. Exhale from the chest, ribs, belly. Inhaling into the belly, ribs, chest. Exhaling from the chest, ribs, belly. Continue this at your own pace, filling the base of your lungs fully, and then exhaling all the air. So this breath also calms our nervous system so that we're not in that stress response. It brings us into our parasympathetic nervous system, which makes it easier to drop into the body. And it makes it easier to make better decisions for ourselves when we're connected here. So continue breathing fully. You can do this practice anytime. And I'd recommend doing it at certain points throughout the day, even if you need to set an alarm. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and open your eyes and just notice the difference in your body and your mind and how you're feeling. And I want you to try doing this regularly, like I said, throughout the day, and then let me know how it works for you. This is a big piece to breaking that cycle of struggling with food in your body, is really building that presence, because once we have the awareness, we can start to look at what's actually underneath the food. So let me know how it goes, and I'll see you in the next video.